April 19th at 9:30 a.m. at District Court, Courtroom number 4. Hey there, folks. Radiant here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Destinies, part of the Apollo Justice A's Attorney Trilogy. Thank you, Capcom Creators, for the code. Last part, we did wrapped up day 2 of the investigation. We found the forbidden chamber hidden entrance, and yeah, the clues are pointing more to the person I showed in the intro video. Court's now in session. All rise. Court is back in session for the trial of Dami and Temba. Apollo Justice Defense Team Leader is ready, Your Honor. Dana Sykes' Assistant Defender is ready too, Your Honor. Just we pray. As chipper as ever, I see, and in French, no less. And the prosecution. Very well then. By the way, Detective Wright to provide sturdier shackles today. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackwell. Now, your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's a standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it. Looks like the judge is really bringing it today. You probably realize how Black Quill played him. That was one mean game, as Simon says. Yeah, his honor has a fight to defend his honor today. Your baldness. It's plain to see you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement. I have. I don't know if I'd say that. Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you've been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the courtroom. The one thing you could not possess. The crown jewels of the court? Now, at long last, they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make a special exception just this once. Here we go again! Yep, no more Black Quill's mind game. Or more Black Quill's mind game. Not no more. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that the victim Alderman Rex QB was the Amazing Ninetales. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetales was the key figure in the yokai craze and anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex QB's secret identity, Mayor Dami and Temba murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in the tightly locked room was also brought to light. The only people in the tightly locked room were the defendants and the victim. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party. Further investigation revealed no proof of third party who had escaped the room. There we go. We must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Did I say something wrong? That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time. One more thing to boast about to my grandchild. Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events. Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Was that not to demand some sort of explanation? The feathers and tracks? Weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed? That was but an act to protect his daughter. Oh, yes, of course. I had suspected as much. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance? His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. There we go, the true identity of the yokai the manor was the manners made at Jinxie 10 months.
Objection!
Prosecutors are engaging in mere conjecture. What do you care for some witness testimony, then? For I am ready to prove that the little scamp is the one behind the Tamataro farce. Witness testimony? I'll bet he means Phil, should not creep LaBelle. Very well, then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Mr. Filch, you made quite a hasty exit yesterday. I see that it doesn't happen again today.
Been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. Bit of a trademark of mine.
Indeed, you managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip.
Like those amateurs could ever nab me.
Games! Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place.
Games! No, oh please, I'll rip my own head off if I start running.
Your statement. Now.
Yes, sir, Mr. Blackhead, sir.
You may be a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackquill. Yeah, Blackquill doesn't strike me as the easy, give up easy type. Keep hitting autoplay this time. I think so. I keep like bonking the touchpad with my desk. Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. Yokai is Jinxie.
Temataro's really that little maid gal, ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Temataro I saw was just a little thing about her size. The little rat had a big old staff. I see that when she came into the foyer. I mentioned she stole it from the forbidden chamber after I stumbled on the crime scene. She was gonna use the wall at me on account of my fierce reputation. I know it.
So, Temataro was short in stature. And that's because it was Ms. Jinxie Tem all along?
You betcha! Besides, all the rest in the manor were way taller than her.
Claiming height is but an easy thing. But a big ox like the Finna could never pass for short. What if the Temataro impersonator was walking on their knees?
Weren't no knee walking, I seen it myself!
Then perhaps that yokai really was Miss Tema after all. All monsters are not but tricks either of the mind, or the cheap parlor variety. So you're saying she created an illusion like one of those magical eye things? Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. Ho ho ho! Prosecutor Blackquill just gave up the ghost. Literally. Janitor's deathly complexion and all white attire, no doubt, partially to blame. And the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. That actually sounds like a real ghost to me. Defense may now cross-examine the witness. Press on all the things. Okay, Jinxie.
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, you and Mr. LaBelle mentioned something about a practice yesterday. Do you deny the so-called lesson was about what you were supposed to say in court?
No, you got it all wrong.
Then could you tell the court exactly what sort of lesson it was?
Oh, it was, what was it again? Hey, yeah, I know I remember math. Yeah, you know, numbers and stuff.
He's completely under Blackquill's control, too.
Anyway, Temataro was that little maid gal, so what's the difference?
I mean, it's a little thing her size. I take it you got a good look at how tall Temataro impersonator was?
You betcha. I got a habit of sizing people up. I could even give you a primer on how to pull it off on the table notch. I got a knack for figuring out where people's pockets are and how much money they have. I size them real good before I relieve them of their valuables.
You just admitted to being a pickpocket right here in court. Does the witness hold that this Temataro entered the foyer?
Darn right I do.
The little runt had a big old staff. Well, you're not gonna brush it all off by claiming the perp was short.
Must have hit a round nerve because you ain't that tall yourself.
Marcus Toxie, Mr. I've got to stay on the box just to justify. Anyway, Mr. Filch, correct me if I'm wrong. But didn't you say the Temataro you saw had a staff?
Cross my heart, hope to die, 'cause I know what a jingle and a jangle.
And where do you suppose that staff came from?
The staff, you say? Well,
So from the Forbidden Chamber. I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Tenma entered the Forbidden Chamber to get one.
well, I never saw a staff like that in a manor. So I had to be the Forbidden Chamber.
Oh, really? The stench of the bell is thick in the air today. Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident? And she took the staff and tried to cover up her actions by pretending to be Tenmataro. I guess that's what Phil just trying to say? Would Jinxie have even entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to? There is one thing I was wondering about. Why did that yokai have a staff in the first place?
Well, I've got my hunches about that.
Gonna use the wallop me and have a notification. Wallop you? And why would the so-called yokai want to do that?
That little big gal never did like me. She always high-tails it when I come around and sticks these weird papers on my noggin.
She probably thinks of him as the dreaded Tanuki monster of QB Manor or something. We need to prove that Jinxie isn't Tenmataro. I have no idea how we're gonna do that. All we've gotta do is prove that it was impossible for Jinxie to turn into Tenmataro. That might be easier than you think. Really? Now's our chance. Our chance to expose the real Tenmataro for all to see. I think it's the float from the Forbidden Chamber. And the key.
Objection!
It would seem that Tenmataro was, in fact, not this innocent little girl.
Huh? How you figure that?
You claim the Tenmataro you saw had one of those staves from the Forbidden Chamber? But it would have been impossible for Miss Tenma to get a hold of one. Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber. What's this? This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. You see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tenmataro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma.
Ah! Arrgh!
What? But then who does the defense believe was impersonating Tenmataro? Our Tenmataro impersonator is none other than Mayor Tenma's aide.
Objection!
Such accusations beg evidence. From his ghastly appearance, can you prove he was the yokai we seek? Yes, in fact, I can. Very well, let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of Tenmataro's impersonator.
Take that!
Hand cream. We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber, and we know that whoever was Tenmataro took one of the staves out of there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for. But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. Might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting. So you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well. I hereby call a short recess while we wait for fingerprint results. No need for that, Your Boldness. We had the prints of everyone at the manor that day. You call Prosecutor Blackwell? Could anyone be more whipped? Cool, Wright. Analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes. Your wish is my command! Very well then. I guess we'll just wait right here. It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete. What do the results show? Oh, what in the world? They're Flaunt Labelle's prints, aren't they? This is absurd. Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not gonna like this, am I? Don't tell me! They're Temataro's prints! Fingerprint analysis revealed that the prints belong to... Phineas Filch.
Objection!
Wait, what?
What? And Mr. LaBelle wasn't the one that went to the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little Tanuki. Explain yourself now.
That prints are mine. I did pilfer that hand cream from Mr. LaBelle after all.
But you're the one who went to the Forbidden Chamber.
So what if I did? Got a problem with it? Yeah.
You fool of a Tanuki. Order? Order? Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean? Excellent question. The fact Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber. Wait a second. Does this mean the Temataro holding that staff was Phineas Filch?
Yeah, so their cat's out of the bag.
Mr. Filch is Temataro? I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer? Wes will explain himself this instant.
Hey, you're part of your ownership, but I was just doing what the other man told me. He wanted me to be Temataro at the village exorcism ritual.
Oh, you mean I've been at the Ninetales Vale Festival? That was you inside the Temataro costume?
Yeah, after the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of wrestlers being complete jobbers.
So then I actually watched the entire wrestling match.
That's when I looked at the Temataro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. Because I'm superstitious, no matter what I do, the village won't say a word.
In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible. Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place?
Because of the treasure there. I thought that would have been a chance to sneak up on in and grab it.
Treasure?
Only that it's the greatest get-rich chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it, said there's an amazing treasure in there.
You went in there not knowing his grandpa already pilfered it. That's one tale that didn't get passed down from grandpappy to grandson. Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly gotten in.
I cut through the air vent in the player. The vents led to the alderman's picture. I went on in and made a nice little hole. I used that to get in the air duct that leads to the Forbidden Chamber, I did.
What? How's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So Mr. Filch found the way to get into the air duct. And that's how you got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent? So Temataro was nothing more than a cat burglar, rather, a Tanuki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the alderman's murder. Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker. Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing from the foyer?
I got out of that costume right quick. Well, cause I just got in trouble at that point.
And where's that costume now?
Heck if I know. It ain't my fault if you never find it.
Police search every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor. What if it was tossed outside the manor? Ah! No way! But maybe, just maybe... And seems I've hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice. Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here? Rope.
Take that!
Window. Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor.
You think I'd toss it out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny. So why would I go do something like that?
Can think of a few reasons. Any bright ideas, Apollo? Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window. The next question would be, what happened to it after that? I'm right. I might just have the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch. I have just the evidence for you.
You do?
This evidence proves you got rid of your Temataro costume through the window. The map? Oh, no, the paper.
Take that!
That's Temataro flying through the sky?
And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? Quite simple. That's not Temataro on the photo, it's the costume Mr. Filch threw out.
That's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are ya?
There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. Costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Temataro really was a fly the fancy. What?
Yikes!
Oh my, so there really never was a yokai.
I can't keep any of them cats back. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume?
This more improves the defense's position. Tema had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting. Are there raising any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? None whatsoever. I'll deal with that Trixie Tanuki after I've dealt with this case. We did it.
Get going! Now all I have to do is make Florent Lavelle take the stand.
Objection!
She's thinking this sort of is a bit early, are we not? Huh? Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber? Probably the same way he got in, through the chamber's air vent. And what are the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? It was suggested Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection!
But the Forbidden Chamber doesn't open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense. Right? Someone on the outside opened the door for you, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Blackshack. The door's only sprung right open.
Hold it!
Sprung right open. Who was on the other side?
Didn't get a good look on account of the sudden glare.
Like how the reflection from my headlights filled on moviegoers emerging from the dark.
That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And that little makeout spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall.
Means the Forbidden Chamber wasn't open until after the crime was discovered. But wait. Still know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Objection!
Well, you little Tanuki. When the Forbidden Chamber opened, did you see the accused pass out there?
Nope. Only one there was the alderman. He was dead as a doornail.
And the accused wasn't there. What do you suppose he was up to? Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. Don't tell me. Plainly, the only one who could have opened the Forbidden Chamber was the accused Dami and Tenma. Herg!
Hold it!
Wait a second! There had to be someone else besides me or Tenma there. Really? And who might that be? Oh, well, that would be...
Objection!
It seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence. I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details. Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact. R.E. Guess I put my foot in my mouth again. Athena, we're definitely onto something here. We are? Think about it. If Filch was stuck inside the Forbidden Chamber, one of the alibis we heard would no longer hold any water. Defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the Forbidden Chamber. And by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up. Ah, not that insufferable. Very well. The court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up.
Take that!
Well, that's the defendant's aide, Flounder LaBelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime? True, but his alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all now know now, Mr. Filch was not there with Mr. LaBelle at the time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared. Arrgh! Flounder LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch?
I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here neither. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me he'd button his lip about me breaking the forbidden chamber. The attorney said we'd vouch for each other's alibis.
Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know.
Aw, shucks. Mercy, you're on the ship. Mercy! Oh!
I also assert that the person who opened the forbidden chamber for Mr. Filch was none other than Flounder LaBelle. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be a complete fabrication. I see. We will take a 20-minute recess, after which time we will see what Mr. LaBelle has to say for himself. Yes, we're finally going to drag that slippery snake onto the stand. In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. LaBelle about these new allegations. April 19th, 10:25 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Mr. LaBelle into court.
Yeah.
Hey, why the long face?
I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell is bound to mount a counterattack.
You really are worried, aren't you? It'll be fine, you know.
That mystery figure who opened the forbidden chamber for Mr. Filch had to have been Flounder LaBelle. I know, but that's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it, though.
At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. LaBelle is up next, so chin up, Apollo.
However, I think before we do the big showdown, we'll call it good here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and/or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps for keeping content like this and more. I'll link to that in the description below, along with the links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching. Thank you again, Capcom Creators, for the code. Until next time, this is Renny and T signing out.